Hi guys! So the purpose of the video that you're going to be watching today is to portray what John Mill and St. Augustine's viewpoints would be of certain current debates to highlight whether or not our society has progressed morally. In the video you're going to catch a couple of direct quotes from Mill and Augustine. Basically, Mill's viewpoint is that as long as we're not doing any harm, it's okay. In one's endeavor for freedom, as long as it doesn't harm or inhibit another person's freedom or liberty, it's okay. One basis for Mill's reasoning in the video is from his statement that the only purpose for which power can be rightly exercised over any member of a civilized community against his will is to prevent harm from others. And then Augustine's viewpoint is in direct conflict with that viewpoint. His view is that we should be living our lives for God. In The City of God, Augustine describes two cities of two loves, one of man and one of God. And these cities are to represent a person's soul. If a person is seeking happiness through the things of his life that man has created, then he is of the first city of man. If he is pursuing the things of God, then he's obviously of the city of God. Basically, Augustine's viewpoint is that we just need to live our lives for God to be happy, to find happiness. And happiness in this life is not really what matters, that it's our eternal happiness, that of our soul. And in the video, you'll notice that Augustine is very concerned with the people in the video, their well-being, and it being their actions being in conflict with what God wants for them. Basically, he's concerned with, their eternal soul. So, I guess that's it. I hope you guys enjoy it, and here you go.
Look at that. Young people in this age are so shameful. Don't they realize that such acts are reviled by God?
I don't see the problem. They aren't hurting anyone, and their choices affect only themselves.
But our societal morality has declined. I blame science. It has swayed us away from God. They disappear into their own thoughts, and their foolish hearts are darkened. And all the while they tell themselves they are wise. They are dominated by pride. They exalt themselves in their own wisdom.
I disagree. Much of our society is still dominated by Judeo-Christian beliefs. Thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife. And above all, love thy neighbor. Is not every creature on God's earth thy neighbor?
I suppose that's one way to look at it. But what if they were to have a child out of wedlock?
What if they were? I suppose that they would deal with it in any way they see fit. In this instance, I would expect they would elect not to have the child.
It's a human life we're talking about.
Is it? When does an embryo become a human life? At conception? At birth? Greater minds than ours have attempted to find the answers to these questions. We still have none. Excuse me.
How would you defend this debauchery, Mill?
Does the boy blaspheme with his choices? Or do they affect only himself? Is it his business alone and none of ours? Men have always sought pleasure. Since the dawn of man, we have indulged in activities that give us pleasure. The individual is not accountable to society insofar as his actions affect only his person.
But when we give in to our base urges, we blaspheme in the eyes of God. Vice is never absent when, in the words of the apostle, the flesh desires in opposition to the spirit.
By delighting in His world, His creations, and His children, we praise the Creator. Many people still believe in the teachings of religion. If all mankind minus one were of one opinion, mankind would be no more justified in silencing that one person than he, if he had the power, would be justified in silencing mankind.
My heart weeps that these men and women will not know His divinity. However, it seems that we have reached an impasse. You say that the morals of our society are built off of Judeo-Christian beliefs. Look at these youths. Would you say they are acting as Christians? Excuse me, miss. What religious beliefs do you hold?
Oh, I'm agnostic.
Agnostic? I should pray for you, my child. Their foolish hearts are darkened. So is the screen.
Rolling. Action.
Get out, she's mine.